Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So I gotta sit there and say this was another great episode for the most part, right? A couple little things that was a little kind of wacky, and we'll kind of get into that. But I want to sit there and start off with the probably best part, and also the most heart wrenching part, is that when Riz decides to, he's power of attorney of Eric, and he makes a decision of um, saying that he doesn't want Eric to have the surgery, and he wants him to pretty much die with dignity, you know? And this is one of those things where it's like, in this situation, you got Donna, who is not okay with that. Steffi, that's not there, trying to also plead with Reg, and Brooke doing her best to sit there and there's a point where she's like, "Are you sure you want to sit there and do this?" Like he can still fight and things of that nature. But she's also sitting there doing her wifely duties, okay? Standing by her man, standing by the decision that he's making, even if she doesn't necessarily fully agrees with it. A lot of the stuff that he was sitting there saying, as hard as it was facts. One of the things that he did sit there and say was that he wanted to respect his dad's wishes, um, to go out naturally, not to be hooked up to machines, not to be having something breathe for him. You know, they try to plead with him. Steffi's like, maybe we could sit there and try, maybe see if it works. It's like, what if it doesn't? No offense, Rich, but I don't want my dad to sit there and be a guinea pig. Now, I know that people are probably going to get upset with Dinah, but I need people to understand something. This is a very emotional time. And a lot of the stuff she was Smith is saying, it was out of anger, desperation, and just being scared. You know? Was the things that she said right? No. Especially as far as talking about him playing God and him giving up on his dad. It was wrong. Point blank period, it was wrong. But it was said out of grief, you know? And so just keep that in mind when people were sitting there watching this episode, that a lot of the stuff that she's sitting there saying is not coming from a place of anger or malice. At the end, he decides to just let his dad go. Um, which again I said this in my live stream, and I'll sit there and say this again. It shows a certain level of love. Why does it do that for? It shows a certain level of love. Okay, it is not keeping them around because you want them to be around, but letting them go because it's what they want, regardless of what you want in that situation. Because it's not about you. As hard as it sounds, it's not about you. Now, while that's going on, you got everyone, I think in Eric's office for some odd reason. And the thing that's a little kind of, I guess, disconcerting is how some of them are Smith are talking like he's already dead. I understand the idea of Hope and Thomas being like, listen, we gotta be realists, he may not make it and stuff, but a lot of the stuff is talking about his legacy and the stuff, the work that he left behind and everything. And I'm like, he's not dead yet. I think that was probably the only part. It's like, y'all sitting there acting like this dude's been in the ground for like 4 days. He's not like, why is some of y'all sitting there talking like he's already dead? Why don't you just wait to sit there and see what's going on? It's also a little kind of concerning is that Thomas is sitting there really leaning on Hope, right? And I feel like he may sit there trying to get something that Hope is not going to give. And it was already bad enough that she was practically, let's be honest, using him as a sex toy, and him wanting something more than what she's willing to give. But on top of all those feelings, now it's grief. I don't know. I mean, maybe it can turn out that they fall in love through their pain for Eric being gone. I know some people was not there wondering, was it going to go the other way? Was Finn just going to sit there and save him and everything like that? And I felt like that would have been an insult to anyone who had to sit there and lose a parent when they got to that age, just for them to get a magical pill and be like, oh, well, now they're up and better. Kind of like the whole Willow thing on General Hospital. We'll leave that alone for now. I will maybe one day talk about that on that review and that topic. But I gotta sit there and say it was a good episode. It was a good episode. Can't remember the actor's name. He played the hell out of that scene, and he played it in a way where it's like how somebody would have to sit there and step up in a way of doing something that shows total 100% love and not in selflessness, because that's what that is. When you're doing something like that, you're letting them go in a way that's dignified to them, regardless of how much you love them, regardless of how much you want to sit there and fight for them. It shows a certain level of devotion. And well, but to be fair, while I'm sitting there talking about all the stuff that he did right, there's nothing wrong on some level of what Don is feeling, because it's natural. It's natural. Because part of you sitting there thinking, I don't know, maybe she's like, if I just agree with him, I may sit there and regret that later on. And your natural instinct is to want to sit there and fight for them, because it's what you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's certain times where, as selfish as it is, it's also human. So that's why I can't sit there and really fault Donna for how she's feeling. Not really. Anyway, I just gotta do can't sit there and say a quick review, because I mean that was pretty much the whole episode. And when you watch the episode, Carter's in it, Cindy's in it, Thomas and Hope are in it. Anyway, can't think of anything else, but you know what to do if I forgot anything. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.